What's up, bikes and gardens? This video is gonna be for like simple maintenance on your bike. Chain tension, just adjusting the chain on your bike. Usually most people have the problem with it being too loose, but I had the problem with mine being too tight, to where when I would ride, if you would push the bike, you would hear a winding noise from like the front sprocket. So if you're having that problem, you need to loosen your chain. Plus, just check the tension in your chain. Just by touching it, you can tell if your chain's too loose or too tight. And we were gonna walk over here to the bike and show you what that gonna be like. We're gonna walk over here to the bike and show you, what you need to be set up like and what tools you'll need. It's not very much that you'll need, but you'll need it to get the job done. All right, so first you'll need your bike on a rear stand. I would suggest not do this on the grass, but this is just a walkthrough. I'm not really tightening and loosening the chain. I already did it, so this is just a walkthrough of what you need. So you're gonna need a rear stand, some kind of measuring device. This is just a collapsible ruler, or you can use a tape measure. My bike uses a 9/16 wrench to adjust the chain. You're gonna need a axle nut. This is a 36mm for a Gixxer. So I think most Gixxers take a 36mm. So you're gonna need one of these. And you're gonna need a breaker bar. This one is this one's extendable, so you can extend it to what you need. You can run to, I got this from AutoZone for about, I think it was about $25. Stop. So all in all, if you don't have this stuff with the axle nut and a breaker bar, you're gonna spend about 40 bucks, 50 bucks. So I have my little girl out here, so if y'all hear me yelling at something, it's more than likely her messing with the garden or something. Get down. So first you want to check how much play you have in your chain. You can either go like this. Let's adjust this. You can take your measure, and I believe most bikes calls for like an inch to an inch and a half of play in the chain. So if you have like 2 inches of play in your chain, then it's too tight. But if you have like no movement at all, like mine was, it was too damn tight to where it did not move at all, barely. It would literally just move like that, and that's about it. So, and you should be able to roll it without hearing, any, mine will wind when I rode it. So, and here she comes now. So, but anyway, to get your project started, once you check that, you want to get to this nut right here and take your axle nut, break it free. Once you break that free, do not take the axle nut all the way off. Just loosen it. Just loosen the axle nut. Once you get that unloosened, you're gonna take your, for my bike it's a 9/16 wrench. You come in here, and this one right here, the one closest to the bike, is your lock nut. You're gonna unloosen that, break that one loose. Just undo it a little bit, and then your other screw right here, if you're trying to tighten it, you're gonna spin it one way. If you're trying to loosen it, you spin it the opposite way. You can tell by, stop. You can tell as you push on your bike, you can tell if it's getting looser or tighter. And the trick, the thing to remember is, Empress, stop. You see? Stop. Go get your ball. The thing to remember is that whatever you do on this side of the bike, you have to do on the other side also of the swing arm. So you undo your axle nut, undo the lock nut on the swing arm closest to the bike. Use the screw, the only other screw on the swing arm, to adjust the, you either gonna spin the screw up or down to adjust the tightness of your chain. Remember, the exact same thing you have to do on the other side. So on the other side, you're gonna unloosen the lock nut. You're gonna unloosen the lock nut on your other side and adjust that one also. And adjust that one to what you need. Once you get the chain to where you want it, stop. Once you get the chain to where you want it, you're gonna have to take this nut, the one closest back to the bike, and tighten it back down. You tighten this one back down, and that locks it in place. You go on the other side, tighten the other side back down, which is the lock nut closest to the bike. Lock that one back in place, and then you tighten back up your nut, your axle nut on your bike to where you need it. And always remember to check, the play in your chain to see how much play you have and don't have to where you need it. And then you have your, my helper's coming again. You'll have your chain to where you need it for the adjustments. So this is like, straight simple maintenance for your bike. If you don't own a bike, you need to know how to do this, so you don't always got to take it to the shop, and it's not something hard that's, crazy to do. Like your oil changes. Stop. Oil changes, coolant changes, and chain adjustments. You should be able to do that yourself. You don't need a whole bunch of tools. Like I said, you need, for this, a wrench, axle nut, breaker bar, and a tape measure, ruler, something. You can just have a regular children's ruler, that'll do. So I mean, all in all, you really only need, let's say, $50 in tools, and that's all you need to do this project. It's not hard. Oh, and your rear stand. So your rear stand might run you about 60 to 80 bucks. So, but if you're gonna have a bike, you need a rear stand anyway. So that's just a simple rundown of what you got to do. I've already done it, and I'm not going to undo it to do what I need to do. I could loosen the chain a little bit more, but I'm going to leave it where it's at because it's a fairly newer chain, so it's going to stretch a little bit, and I'll just keep adjusting it as, I go along. But that's all for that, Rear stand, axle nut, your lock nuts, and then your adjuster screw. So you play with those and adjust it, and always remember, what you do to one side, you gotta do to the other side, or your tire is not gonna be aligned and balanced, aligned correctly. So do that, and you can have your bike chain adjusted and do it yourself and save yourself a little bit of money. So like and subscribe. Bikes and Gardens out.